Hey guys, James Wilson-Taylor here for Roxanne. We are backstage at Slam Dunk Festival 2023. Charlotte Sands is on the lineup and she joins me now. How you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, it's good to see it first Slam Dunk. I hadn't realized this.
First
I mean,
ever.
how was that yesterday down in Hatfield? It's got to be a pretty fun show, I'm imagining.
It was so crazy. This is my first time ever doing festivals outside of the U.S.
Oh, wow.
So that was technically like my first festival ever outside of the U.S. And so I was just surprised by how many people knew the songs and like were having fun. And it was really, really cool. It was such a strange reaction.
It's always a good crowd over here for that, guys. And also, I mean, you had a couple of special guests there I saw as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, John, at this point, it makes perfect sense. Always nice to see you guys do that collab. Was Lynn Gunn up on stage as well with you at one point?
Yeah, so my first tour out here was with PVRIS, with Lynn Gunn, and who's absolutely incredible, like an absolute icon. And so on tour, I would sing one of her songs, Goddess, with her, and I would go up at the end of their show and do it. And it was such like a highlight of my time there. And so then they asked me to do it at these shows as well, which is so fun. I love their crew and her so much. So yeah, getting to do that is like such a privilege. It's
amazing. I mean, it's got to be like, that's the great thing about events like this, isn't it? There's just so many friends about, so many collaborators of yours as well. You've done so many collabs recently. It's just so cool to have an event like this that's very much a part of that scene, part of that community, right?
It's like a high school reunion. I feel like my goal has just been to try and get on every single stage every day. Like any way I can get onto somebody else's set, I'm here for it. I love doing like feature stuff, so it's so fun for me. Yeah.
That's the challenge. We'll get you on every single stage next year. It worked very, very well.
You're gonna be so sick of me.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be everywhere. Charlotte Sands Fest over here. I guess most recent single was All Right. Yeah, that was kind of early a little bit this year.
6 Feet Under.
Oh, of course we did as well. 6 Feet Under.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's start with All Right first of all, because I know you did the EP as well, like loads of different versions of it and stuff.
Yeah.
That's such a nice, cool idea to kind of do a little different take. Tell me a little bit about that, and I guess writing the track in general.
Right. So the main reason I wanted to do the multiple versions EP was because I felt like, I mean, especially now, people consume so much music, but they also consume so much different types of music.
True.
And I think even like younger generations, like they really do have this want for like acoustic versions and piano versions and like reimagining songs, which I think is so cool and so interesting. Like they don't want a song to just be one way. They're like, how many different ways? I did that with my song Dress, that we did like a heavy version, which people ended up like loving more than the original, and we do that live, which is super fun. But yeah, All Right, I feel like you kind of are able to, instead of this song just having one life, it now has like 5.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
Yeah, and so it's able to kind of like live through all these different genres, and I just like love being able to create more stuff. Like who doesn't enjoy being able to just like remix your own songs over and over? And so that was really special, and that's just been like a really cool experience.
How does that translate for you in the live set? Because particularly you mentioned Song Like Dress where you had the heavier version and everything as well that gets, equally if not more so popular. People really went nuts for it. Do you find you end up then making the track a bit heavier live or doing a different take on things? How does it kind of work when you're putting together a set list?
Absolutely. So I mean, all of my music, I write it for the live show. That's always like my priority, is to go into a session and be like, how is this going to translate live? I think for different artists, it's the different things are more important, and that's totally fine. Personally, my favorite thing is a live show, so I want everything to be for the audience. So we'll like go in, and when we're creating the actual show, I mean, technically we perform, there's 3 versions of Dress out, or there's the original, then there's like a poppier remix version of it, and then there's a heavy version. So we kind of made a version for the live show that's all 3. So it kind of starts as the original. It has influences from the poppier version, but then it ends as like the heavy version.
Amazing.
And so it's kind of fun because people just expect it to be the original one, and then we're able to like throw that in at the end, and everyone's like, what is going on? Every time people are like, I don't know this song. But so that's really fun for me. And then I feel like for most of my stuff, we reproduce it a little bit or reimagine it for the live shows to make it kind of, I mean, we also change it depending on where we're playing. I mean, like if I'm opening for different bands, we'll have like make a less heavy version of songs or show, and then when I'm doing like bigger festivals like this, we want it to be loud and like really energetic, so we'll add different elements and like different parts to make it come off how we want to.
Good to be able to mix it up like that. It's a really nice thing to be able to do that. Obviously, as we say, a couple of kind of recent singles there. What's the plan looking like for the rest of this year? Are we thinking more new music? Are we EPs? Are we albuming? How much are you allowed to tell me? Come on.
Great question. I feel like nobody's told me how much I'm allowed to tell, so it's really, that's like
that's really
scary territory for me, because I'm like, I really don't know. But basically, I will say that I'm like making my favorite music I've ever made right now. went through this really weird lull of touring so much that I wasn't able to write, because all of last year I was on the road. I think I was home for like 4 weeks, and so I didn't write at all. I had no songs that I was super excited about because I was like unable to make anything, and so I went through this whole thing of like, oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to release music next year. I'm not gonna have time to write. And then I, over the last few months, have spent a lot of time in LA as well as Nashville, where I live, and have just in those few weeks created some of my favorite songs ever. And so there's definitely gonna be new music that I'm so excited about, and yeah, the most exciting things I've ever done, for sure.
Wow. Are we working with lots of kind of different people, or is it the same kind of co-writers and team you've been working with so far?
Yeah, I've definitely tried. A goal of mine has to be, because all of the songs I've released so far have basically been produced by Danon Reed, who's also my drummer, and he's done everything with me, and he's incredible and so talented. And we also get to like write and tour together, which is really convenient. But my goal of this year was I really wanted to branch out stylistically, in the sense of I wanted to work with other people that were different types of producers, different types of writers, had different people that they were inspired by. It's because I felt like I needed a little extra like creative pull, in the sense of I was touring so much, I wasn't like experiencing life. I wasn't I didn't have anything to write about. So being around people and from different genres and different backgrounds gave me more experiences and more things to talk about. And I love when you're around and working with the same people all the time. It's such like a comfortable thing. And then sometimes I feel like I need to be around people who are complete strangers, so that they can be like, that's not good. And then I'm like thrown, and I'm like, what? Okay, but now I have to be better. And now it's like a challenge. And so I do love that as well. So there's a mix of old and new and
interesting
all the good things.
stuff. No, it sounds like exciting times ahead. Busy day for you. Before I let you go and try and get on every single stage of this festival, question we're asking absolutely everybody this weekend. It is a stacked lineup. I feel like this is a proper vintage year for Slam Dunk, for real. Like, it's a really, really decent lineup this year. If you had to collab with somebody you've not collabed with before who's here this weekend, is there any artists on that lineup you would love to do some work with in the future?
That's such a good question. There's so many people that just came to my mind. I love Girlfriends. They're like good friends of mine, and I love Travis, and they're just like always sound incredible and are such good people, like very, very sweet. These are on my stages. On Jaden's on there as well, and I think he's really sick, and he has such like a cool style and such like a sweet person as well. So I love them, and I love that I think we're all kind of in like the same place. We're all like the same ages, and we're all just like in the newish style of this this new resurgence of this music. So I would say I would love to like tour and do stuff with them. There are super sick female artists playing, which is super cool, because I was actually surprised by it. Felt like pretty even of like when we were listening yesterday. It was like, I feel like that's very rare. It's like it's mostly like all like men in these bands and all these artists, and like it was I feel like there was at least like 4 women on the stages that I was doing, which is super sick. And then
the scene's changing and lineups have to change and adapt with it. It's good to see it's kind of expanding and moving in really positive.
I'm happy about it.
Oh, 100%. I think everyone's happy about it. Come on, it's a great thing to see. It really is. Gonna let you go enjoy your day. Congrats on yesterday. Have a great show today. We'll catch up again soon.
Thank you. So good to see you.
All right, Charlotte Sands, everybody.
Bye.